Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Glad to be with you here. It is Thursday, May the 18th, and I am joined by those two handsome gentlemen on the other side of me, Mr. Sean Higgs of picksandparleys.net, and Jesse Schewel, the man, the myth, and certainly the legend, Mr. Schewel. So, guys, how are you? Sean, I'm glad everything went well with your mother's procedure yesterday, and you're back with us today.
Yeah, it was, pushed back. I told you I apologize earlier. Usually it's, I try not to miss shows no matter what's going on. I mean, we all have life and, things are bigger than others, but, you want to just stay in your area and do what you got to do. But she's fine. She's a fighter. She's good. So everything went well. Or well as it could go, I guess, when you go, go in the hospital for surgery, you never know what's going to happen. I don't care what it is. It's a 50-50 shot to me go in there. Hospitals are for dead people, not for live people.
Yeah. I know it's not the most uplifting place to visit.
That's
for sure. Anyway, but I'm glad everything went well,
Thank
Sean. You. Here's the thing: we're diligent and professional, and have a tremendous work ethic in the business that we work in, the sports betting industry. But family always comes first, right, Jesse?
Yes, sir. And I just had a nice, amazing steak dinner on the barbecue with my family. And my family had been on vacation for the last 3 or 4 days, so I missed them, and it was nice to see them again for dinner.
Oh, good for you. And I'm glad you finished the dinner before the show. And I'm glad anything's not on the grill before the show. Because boy, oh boy, folks, if you want Jesse's attention span not at 100%, just throw a steak on the grill or some barbecue on the grill while the show is going on. He's got one eye, and you can see.
He's like Aaron Judge.
Yeah, no doubt. He's trying to steal.
Actually, I got to admit, Ross, I'm a terrible guest to have over for dinner because I'll hover in the kitchen and watch what they're. I like have to see what's going on. Oh no, you can't do that. That way you're doing that wrong, and I want to take over and it's terrible. People don't like that.
That's okay. It would be okay with me. Let's put it that way. But I could see why others, especially the women in the house, might take offense to that. Other women, I mean, your wife is used to it, right? So you guys been together for a long time, and both of these guys have children. I have a daughter of my own that's doing very well, and we're family men first, and then we're sports handicappers second. But it's right up there in the important things we have to do daily. So in any event, the NBA playoffs, the Miami Heat, off to a great start. Boy, oh boy, the story just never seems to want to end. And there's Jesse gloating there on the bottom of the screen because he had Miami as a free pick yesterday, plus 8.5. He also had a free pick on Miami to win at least 2 games in a series at money line odds of minus 125. Was it, Jess?
Finally picked a winner, Ross? Or Rick, sorry, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, after all this long string of success with everybody on the channel, Jesse included, we're hitting close to 60% over the last 7 weeks, folks. Just shy of 60%, actually, with all of our free picks. And somebody made the comment yesterday when Jesse lost the Jason Tatum bet. He had Jason Tatum under 29.5 points, and the guy scores 30 with the last basket coming in the last 30 seconds. And some brilliant individual, and I appreciate all of you guys out there, and I welcome your comments. But, think before you talk sometime, guys. When you make a comment like Jesse finally picked a winner, if you're on a crusade against Jesse, you're on a lone crusade, because everybody who's been watching over the last few months and since he's been on the show knows that Jesse has no problem picking winners on a consistent basis.
He's on the leaderboards. You just look at tell us where you can find. You can see how we do. Win or lose, it's right there. We don't own the sites. We don't switch the records. The guy's insane. Go to his Twitter. He put his Twitter one up for the last couple summers. Unbelievable. Yeah, 61%, 60%, 59, 63. Ridiculous.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, and like I like to say, numbers don't lie and liars don't figure. So there you go, folks. I live by those words when it comes to sports betting. And another winner for me yesterday is I used my free pick as a premium pick as well I decided later to do that, and I cashed in with the Boston game. Boston, Miami, easily going over the total of 211. They had 194 after 3 quarters, folks. So pretty much a no sweat. And that makes me 6-0 with my last 6 in the NBA playoffs. And altogether, folks, in the NBA playoffs this year, I am 33-18. That's 65%. So talk about 65%, 60 percentiles. We're hitting it here in various topics. But Sean, I see that you're doing very well in baseball, and 60% is not what you're hitting. As a matter of fact, it's around 50, but you're still making an extremely good profit.
Yeah, 163 and 163 on the sports cap in there, plus 915. And it's a lot. Yesterday I had one game, and it was the Red Sox on run line plus 145. You go 1-1 in games like that, you're going to make
making money.
A couple bucks. It adds up. I mean, it's again, if I hit 60% in MLB, holy cow, I wouldn't have time for videos, because I'd just be the money avalanche. I'd just be under a mountain of, like, Mount St. Helens, like, erupted 40 years ago. That would be me. It'd be like Mount St. Helens, except it would be money just falling all over the place. 60% with run lines and dogs like that.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. With Jesse's win percent and your ability to pick money line values, mostly underdogs and very small favorites, it would be Mount Etna with money popping out of the tank. So, but that's not the case. We're all individuals, and we're all our separate entities. And speaking of separate entities, again, folks, we're going to be talking Denver and the Lakers, the game that goes tonight, game 2, Denver with the 1-0 series lead. Denver right now, as we speak, is a 5.5 point favorite, 226.5. But Jesse wants to tell you about the special he's got going on in June, July, and August. It's called the Dog Days of Summer Special. And Jesse, fill them in.
All right, Ross. Well, I posted this on Twitter today because, a couple days ago I was looking through my records, and when I discovered what I saw, I thought, geez, I'm going to have to post the screenshots on Twitter. Nobody's going to believe me, because if you know anything about betting on sports, you hear a guy say, I win 5 years in a row, I hit 60% every year. You just assume that the guy's lying, because it's really difficult to do that. Yeah. But I've always known that I do quite well in the summer, and there's reasons for that. I'm really big into the CFL. I'm really big into soccer, MLS. I dabble in MMA and WNBA. But over the last 5 years, 5 straight big winning years, my record is 628, 421. That's 60% winners for 78,720 units. That's almost 80 grand for dime players and $8,000 for $100 bettors. And that's in the months of June, July, and August, last 5 years. And the promotion is 50% off all weekly and monthly packages at jesseshul.com. And we're looking forward to another big summer. And, it's nice to see Jesse finally pick a winner.
Well, Jesse,
Ross, I think you got it. Like, the records are from a third site. It's not like Jesse owns the site where the records are at. It's not like he go in there and back end. It's not. We're on a site. We don't control that stuff. That's really record.
It's independent,
the losses,
and that's where I always try to, on my site, have the same line matching picks throughout at Sports Capping, because they do a terrific job of not only identifying streaks. Their leaderboards are up to date every day. And you could do a search on your own picks and see what you're hot at right now, so
which is how I came up with these numbers.
Absolutely.
And the screenshots I shared on Twitter are screenshots from Sports Capping, but I would like to give credit to Sports Memo, because they're the ones that promote this Dog Days of Summer promotion, and they're probably going to offer the best deal for the months of June, July, and August.
Speaking of Sports Memo, number 1 in the NBA playoffs is this guy right here. Yours truly, Ross Benjamin. Jesse's right up there. He's having a great NBA playoffs as well. Sean, if you check him out at the leaderboards on picksandparleys.net, you'll see him all over the place. So 3 good handicappers here, folks, world-class handicappers. And Doug Upstone will be with us later today, as we'll be discussing some baseball. But today it's about the NBA playoffs. All right, let's get her going. Denver and the Lakers, as I said, 5.5, 226.5 is the current odds. First half line, Denver -3, 115.5. Jesse, their first half total, when you see a total 115.5 and the game total 226.5, does that do anything for you in terms of sparking an idea?
How did you know, Ross? How did you know? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I gave out a loser on the under in game one. The total was 222.5. Now it's 5 points higher, and I'm expecting regression to the mean. And the first half, certainly with the adjustments we saw in the last game, I think the under is the play here for me. Just based on percent. I mean, one of the things is both teams shot better than 54% in the last game. Both teams are averaging under 50% shooting for the playoffs. It's tough to ask them to shoot 54% again. If we see some regression to the mean, which I think you can actually say confidently you always see regression to the mean. That's why they call it the mean.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the mean if you didn't see regression to the mean. So if you believe in regression to the mean, you got to like the under here.
Yeah, I mean, and using your theory from yesterday, if you did like the over, you saw this go from an opener of 224, I believe, to 226.5 and 227 in other places. If you did like the over, you lost a ton of value there. In my estimate, I would not be shocked to see this game be a middle, between the opening line and where it currently is in terms of the total. So Jesse, Jesse, you like the under in this contest? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, and you're onto something with the first half too. I mean, good value getting those extra few points, the 115.5, and especially considering the adjustments that were made by the Lakers on the Joker. Those are more likely to carry over into the first half than the second half, maybe. I think you're onto something there. But I do have other plays. You want me to save them, or you want me to rattle them off right here?
Rattle them off. What do you want to save? What are you saving them for? A rainy day?
All right. Well, I actually think I'm onto something here. I think the bookmakers are sleeping on our man Austin Reeves, who might not look like a great basketball player. Maybe he doesn't look like the part, but the man is playing out of his mind right now. A young guy, and I think he's ready to take a bigger role for the Lakers. He's scored 20 plus points in 3 of his last 4 games. He reached career highs in game 1 for playoff minutes played, 3-point attempts, and what else did he do? And minutes, played 42 minutes. He was 5 of 9 from 3-point range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He's an 88% free throw shooter, which makes him the Lakers' best free throw shooter. His points, rebounds, assists is 23.5. He's gone over that in 4 straight games, and he's averaging 25.1 points, rebounds, and assists for the playoffs. And he's playing with confidence. His role is increasing. His minutes are increasing. I like him to go over the points, rebounds, assists, and his points total is 15.5. I like him to go over that as well. So that will wind up with 3 plays. I like the under, and we're going to go under full game, even though I agree with Ross in the first half, but under 227, Austin Reeves over 15.5 points, and Austin Reeves over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
There you go. Austin Reeves, who I call Gomer Pyle, Yeah, you look at him, the kid's from Oklahoma. He looks like an old country boy, but boy, oh boy, the kid's got some moxie.
Until he hits a half court buzzer beater.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some. I mean, you watch him play. I mean, his crossover's real good. He's a great shooter. He distributes the ball well, and his emergence and him being an integral part of the line. In terms of minutes that Jesse just rattled off, he's been an integral part of their success in terms of that 1 or 2 players above and beyond LeBron James and Anthony Davis that's been contributing to the Lakers' success as well. Anyway, Sean, your take on what Jesse had to say, and then go right into your picks.
Well, I like the Reeves. I like that a lot because that kind of goes into a little player prop I'm going to have here. And I think I was against Jesse in game one. I like Denver. I like the over there. And yet there were adjustments second half here, but I'm going to lean, I think, Denver again here as a side, just because this game wasn't close until adjustments. I mean, when you're down by 10, 15 most of the game, it's everybody's going to go on a run. It is what it is. Is it adjustments or is it just the NBA being the NBA? I mean, we see this all the time. It's the Hawks versus the Sixers. You see nonsense like this. It's the Rockets versus whoever. I mean, I don't like the NBA as a product. We could have a little rant. We got to go back NBA rant here. I actually like LeBron here to go over his points and assists, 32.5. He went 26-9 with those two last game. And I'm expecting a little more. And it plays into what Jesse said about Reeves and also D'Angelo Russell, who shot terribly. He's going to have to be more, other guys have to be more involved for them to win, to keep pace. I think it's going to be an over type kind of game. I think we'll see a lot of points. Obviously, these guys are going to come out and run around and just shoot. I think we'll see that in a lot of the series. So his 32.5, I like the over there. And his triple double for LeBron is a plus 825, right? And the Joker is a minus 125 for a triple double. Minus 125 for the Joker, plus 825 for LeBron. He was 26-9 and 12 last game. And not that I'm saying guys are due where things happen. This just kind of sets up as they're down a game. He's LeBron. He's going to play with a chip like, hey, people think I'm terrible. I'm old. I could see a triple double from him, a big game from him, kind of keeping it close, high scoring. I'm going to go over his points, rebounds here. Points, assists, rather, 32.5. But I do have a lean on Denver for the side.
All right, so he has a small lean on the Denver Nuggets, minus 5.5, and he likes LeBron James points, rebounds.
Just points, assists, 32.5, minus 105.
Assists, 32.5, over 32.5. Yeah, minus 135, you said, Sean?
Minus 105.
Minus 105.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say 135 on.
Sean would never lay 135 on prop bet.
I was going to say. Anyway,
actually, he laid 160 on a Super Bowl prop bet, and I bet it as soon as I heard Higgs is
that was an easy one. Over 1.5 rushing touchdowns. I'm like, this 160. I would have probably went to the $2 mark on that. I mean, that's rare for me.
There's an exception to every rule, like I like to say.
Yeah.
For the most part, we're not using those types of plays. Me and Sean, anyway.
It's a little, back to that game. I hate. We all hate like the whole term like a lock or it's, but sometimes you look at it and be like, oh, you got to be kidding me with that. It just seems so bizarre. Like two rushing touchdowns. Pass up
easy money.
I was like, I got to do it.
If you're passing up easy money, you're not doing your job.
Yeah. Easy money one time, like, oh, wow, this team's a 105 favorite. I'm like, it looks a little too easy. I'll pass it because there'll be 140 baseball games like that during the year. But in the Super, I couldn't pass up two rushing touchdowns. That was
so I got an idea. Why don't all our bets be easy money?
There you go.
So forget, if you think it's difficult money, don't bet the game. If you think it's easy money, bet it. And we'll see the results. But
easy money will be 2-7 every video.
Yeah, to me, easy money is a lock, and there's no such things as either or when it comes to sports betting. But that's me.
I keep my locks next to me when people bring up the locks. Like, there's your lock right here.
All right, let's get to my pick. I'm going to go again. I'm going the opposite way. I like the Lakers here. Everything. When I ran all my algorithms, which have worked really well for me during the NBA playoffs, it's been an integral part of my success thus far. All the algorithms pointed toward Denver. But once in a while, you have to trust your professional intuition, and that's what I'm going to do here. The Lakers, to me, they had 72 points in the second half, and that's an ongoing problem with Denver. As much success as they've had in these playoffs and they're winning, it's not because of their defensive play. It's because of their offensive play. It's because of the Joker. It's because of Jamal Murray. But it's not because they've been outstanding defensively throughout. They've had their moments where you wonder how this team was the number one seed, the way they played defense in the second half of that game. In game one was a typical example of such. The Lakers coming off a loss, 6-0 straight up in ATS in their last 6 games coming off a loss. They're 4-0 straight up in ATS in the playoffs following a loss. And those 4 wins came by 25.3 points per contest. I'm not suggesting they're going to win by 25, but I am suggesting that's something you can't ignore when handicapping this game. because it marks a team that's resilient. And if you look at the record down the stretch since the All-Star break, they're the best team in the West since the All-Star break. And Denver played a terrific first 2.5 quarters in that game. They would have been up 20 on just about anybody in the NBA, shooting at the percentage they were, playing the way they were. But it really bothers me the way they finished the game. And here's another thing. The Lakers 6-0 straight up in ATS in their last 6 as an away underdog of 8.5 or less when coming off a loss. And they won those games by 10.1 points per game. And their average as a underdog in those games was plus 3.5. So this is a team that's been very, very resilient and very, very tough off a loss. And I'll give you a second here, Jesse. Hold on. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Lakers plus the 5.5 as my main bet. And then I'm take 20% of whatever you played on that point spread bet and play the Lakers plus 175 on the money line. So if you're playing, I'm being hypothetical here, folks. I'm not trying to talk you into betting over your head. Let's keep it simple. If you're betting 100 to win 100 on the Lakers at plus 5.5, then bet to win, risk $20, which is 20% of that on them on the money line, and that will produce you 20 would win 35 in those increments. So those are my bets. Okay, so here we go. And Jesse, since you are chomping at the bit and with all those facial expressions, which I'm glad to see, what do you have to say, sir?
Well, I mean, Sean's got Denver, you've got the Lakers, so I've got to be the deciding. I get the last vote, the last word. And to be honest with you, Ross, I was impressed with the Lakers in the second half. And you saw my bets on Austin Reeves. I was really impressed with Austin Reeves. It was hard not to be impressed with AD, the way he played. I mean, really, the Lakers looked pretty decent in game one. I'm a little concerned that game one was their opportunity to steal one in Denver. But what I really want to ask you guys about, and actually, I'll say that I respect both your picks, and I'm not even going to take I'm not going to side with you. But my question is, Ross Benjamin, you've been doing this for longer than either me or Sean. Do you remember the days before the zigzag theory? Can you remember pre-zigzag theory?
Not really.
I can't either, but I want to think that there was days when what I'm getting at is the Lakers were plus 6.5 closing line in game one. They lost. They didn't, or I guess they covered by 0.5 point. It was very close. And now they're plus 5.5. And to me, that is typical zigzag theory. That's traditionally what we see, just like the Celtics lost game one, and now they're an even bigger favorite in game two. I am anti-zigzag theory because I find that just takes the value away. So that's probably what would keep me off the Lakers is you're getting 6.5 in game one, you're getting 5.5 in game two, and other than the zigzag theory, I don't really see any reason for that.
Yeah, I'm not. The zigzag theory doesn't come into play here for me, and I don't think the Lakers squandered an opportunity to win game one. I think the Lakers actually, the way they finished that game, to go from 21 down in the second half to cutting it to 3 with a couple opportunities to tie the game with a 3-point shot. I think that bodes well for their confidence going into game two. That's the way I look at it. Now, having said that, if you want to be anti-zigzag theory, you have a good reason to, because since the 2020 NBA playoffs, NBA game two away dogs of +5 to +9, like the Lakers are, and they're coming off a game one loss. They're 0-11 straight up in ATS since 2020, and the average victory margin for the favorites in game two was 17.5 points per game. So history shows here over the last few seasons that the zigzag theory isn't all that great when you look at this specific example. I mean, a sizable away underdog, basically off a game one loss, and 0-11 straight up in ATS since 2020. But I'm going to go against that. I was a little torn because these algorithm's been working quite well for me in the NBA playoffs, but sometimes you got to trust your intuition. It's solely an intuition play here. And my intuition is much better than a lot of you out there viewing. And that's with no disrespect. It should be, because I've been doing this every day for over 2 decades. So it's like these gentlemen have. All right. Let's sew it up.
Hey, Russ, let me just your point about them bouncing back after losses. They lost by 17 at Memphis, came back, won by 40, 125-85. Lost by 27 at Golden State, came back, win by 30. Lost by 15 at Golden State, come back, won by 21. I mean,
there's a fine line between zigzag and a team that's resilient off a loss.
Yeah.
So that's that point I'm trying to make. And Jesse, I agree with you. I don't put as much. It's some people just live and die by the zigzag theory in the playoffs. I don't.
I mean, you could ignore the zigzag theory, but when it affects the line, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're getting 6.5 in game one, now you're only getting 5.5 because all these other guys are following the zigzag.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Jesse. Okay, that game one opened at 4. It went to 6.5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? I
but
understand what you're
not
saying.
Just this game, though. I mean, the Miami and Boston series as well. So Miami opens at 8, they go to 8.5, maybe 9. They lose outright, and now you could get plus 9.5 with Miami in game 2.
Yeah,
you tell me that's zigzag theory money to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely built in too. And again,
and
I think
me,
this line will probably be 4
if
by
you like
tip-off,
Boston, for me, it's a pass just based on that. Like the fact that they're going to ask you to lay 9.5 after they just lost. I don't care if I think they're going to win by 20.
I think they're begging you to take Miami. Be honest with you in game 2.
I thought they were begging you to take Miami in game 1.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
I had Miami game 1, but 8, it's crazy.
But even more so, think about it. Coming off a loss in game 1, now they go from yesterday being an opening 8-point favorite to now they're 9.5. To me, that's even more so. They're begging you to take Miami, but we'll discuss
it's the same theory, Ross, as what we talked about in game 1 of this Lakers Western Conference final. For me, just based on the value in the way the lines moved, it's got to be a pass for me. It
makes for an interesting conversation because you're hearing our philosophies on how we look at lines, and we might not always agree, but at the end of the day, we all seem to have pretty solid philosophies based on our track records. So that's all you could ask, and hopefully, again, folks, I hope that this discussion and the prior discussions we had on prior shows with these veteran handicappers and myself makes you a smarter sports bettor today than you were yesterday. All right, we're very short on time. So, Sean, real quickly, how you been doing and what you may have coming up on picksandparlays.net.
Yeah, nice baseball, grinding along, winning, NBA winner with the Heat, and hockey, I've been up and down with the hockey. I can't really catch my puck lines, but Midday Money, you go check it out on your YouTube, favorite podcast channels. Mr. Sean Higgs on Twitter. Come say hello.
There you go. Sean Higgs, picksandparlays.net. Jesse Shule, jesseshule.com. Real quick, Jesse.
All right. Dog Days of Summer promotion, 50% off all weekly and monthly packages from June 1st to August 31st. I am the number 1 CFL handicapper all time at sportsmemo.com, number 2 all time at sportscapping.com, which is one of the reasons for my success in the summer. Follow me on Twitter at Jesse Shule. Follow me on YouTube at Jesse Shule Picks, and come see me at jesseshule.com. You'll be glad you did.
There you go. He's the GOAT, Jesse Shule. He's really been killing it over the last 2 years. And we joke, but you know what? We know how good he is, right, Sean? So we're privileged to have Jesse aboard. We're privileged to have Sean aboard. And I'm also privileged to have Doug Upstone aboard. Couldn't ask for a better team of handicappers on this show. And the results speak volumes, folks, because over the last 3 months or so, we've done extremely well. And also, you could find me at rbwins.com. Folks, I don't know, you can only take a horse to water. You can't make him drink. But come on, guys. We're talking about since the NBA playoffs postseason began, I'm hitting 65% of my plays, 33 and 18 to be exact. So what are you waiting for? What's wrong with you? You're betting on sports. I'm not asking you for a lot of money. Call me, 781-571-0299, 781-571-0299. Have your credit card ready. Let's make a deal for the rest of the NBA playoffs because, man, oh, man, you guys are leaving freaking money on the table. All right. Don't forget, when you see that like button on our video, Jesse wants you to.
That like button.
All right. And Sean Higgs, you remember to go see him on his podcast in about another hour or so, folks. He's on live, Midday Money. Great podcast. He also does late money line moves late at night. And he can fill you in on that on his show because you're going to go see his show in an hour. And don't forget Jesse's own YouTube channel. Just look up Jesse Shule on YouTube. A lot of great info on a daily basis, folks. And we're making you a lot of money, I hope, as long as you're following our advice. If you want to fade us, like one guy told me yesterday, you won 2 days in a row, so I'm going against you today. Well, good luck with that. I've won the last 8 days in a row. Anyway, for Jesse Shule and Sean Higgs, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best with all your picks, with your day in general. And I'll be back later today with Doug Upstone discussing some Major League Baseball picks for Friday, May 19th. Until then, signing off here, folks. Take care, good luck, and God bless.